What's up, everyone? It's Aaron Schatz, Editor-in-Chief of ASE Publishing, and today we've got the Netgear Arlo review for you on the review table. This is a table. It's a review table. You know what you should do right now? There's a subscribe button right down here. You should hit that. You'll be informed of all of our video content as we post them. This is review ID 53938. You can check out this and all our reviews by going to www.aselabs.com. Also, we just announced a new thing from ASE Publishing, and it's called 1 minute or less reviews. So basically, we have these long form reviews that are very long. They're, some of them are 20 plus minutes long, and I know a lot of you can't sit down and watch a 20-minute long review because you want to have something very quick. So what we're doing for every review that we post from now on is we're going to have another very, very quick review, a minute or less. So if you need to watch a minute or less review, it'll be in the description below. You can just hit that. Or when you have time, you can come back and watch the main review, which this is right now. So let's get started. If you haven't seen the unboxing, I'm going to post it right here. There'll be an annotation that you can hit. But I'm going to save you time, as I try to always do in every review. You basically get the base station, Ethernet cable, AC adapter for the base station. This is a 2-camera kit. They make other kits so you can get like 1 up to 3 or 5 kit. So you get two cameras in this kit. You get 4 mounts for some reason. I don't know why with a 2-camera kit, but you get 4 mounts. And the mounts are magnetic, and this is a really strong magnet. And it'll basically go like that, holds like that. You get some literature right here. You get something that says, oh, you're being recorded. You get 4 batteries for each camera. So if you buy a bigger kit, you'll probably get, enough batteries for each of the cameras. These are CR123A lithium batteries that should last a lot longer than AA's. That's probably why they use them. So you get 8 of them in this kit right here. And that's basically it. So let's move on. The Arlo is a completely wire-free camera kit. The only thing you actually have to wire is the base station. But the cameras are all wireless, and that includes power. That's why they give you all these batteries. And it's really simple to actually set this thing up. So if you wanted to mount this, these are indoor and outdoor cameras, and they're pretty much waterproof. So you can just throw them outside, they can get in the rain, whatever. Now, the mounts on this. You can mount this wherever you want. It's got a screw right here that it actually gives you a couple of mounting screws that you just put this on a wall or something. You can put this on a tree if you really want to, and then you can point this in any direction you want. It's not going to go anywhere. The magnet is really, really strong, and it picks up look at this. I mean, it's a really strong magnet. So to actually turn this bad boy on, you have to plug the base station in first, obviously. And then you open this up here. Oh, one additional thing on the bottom. It actually has a screw mount for regular camera stuff. So if you have a camera mount that you actually want to use on this, you can do that as well. So you basically plug the batteries in here in the right direction. And then it's waterproof because you can hear that really thick click, and then this locks in there, so it's completely pretty much waterproof. Now in the front, you have a couple of indicators, and you have a PIR, basically a passive infrared, and that's how it detects motion. Since this is wireless and there's no you're not hardwiring this, it has to conserve power somehow, and then it uses basically PIR to basically detect motion, and then it starts recording. If this is recording all the time, it's going to sap the battery power. Netgear says that you're going to get about 4 to 6 months of real-world usage of this, and obviously we haven't reviewed this for 4 to 6 months, but we haven't noticed the battery go down at all. It has a little indicator in the application, which we'll show you later, and the website, and it hasn't gone down. Now, 4 to 6 months is good, and the problem is these batteries are not cheap. I think they're about a dollar or two per each battery. So you're talking anywhere from probably $5 to $10 to actually replace the batteries in each camera. Now, depending on where you get them, you can get them in bulk and they'll probably be cheaper, but they're not inexpensive batteries. However, 4 to 6 months of use is pretty good, and you could probably extend that by putting these in locations that aren't going to have a lot of traffic. Because remember, it's only going to record video when it detects motion through the passive infrared down here. The top of the camera, the Arlo itself, has a sync button, and over here on the base station right here is the other sync button. So we'll go over the base station a little bit. But basically, you sync them just like you would like any other syncing thing. You push the sync here, you push the sync there, it does its thing, and then it's synced, and then it works. And that's it. Really, it's that simple. Let's take a look at the base station now. So as I said before, you have a sync button right here to sync each of these. So if you had multiple cameras, like this is a 2-camera system, you basically take each one, plug the batteries in, wait for it to turn on, hit sync, it'll take about 30 seconds to a minute, and then that's it. Everything else can be done in the software or the website itself very easily. On the back, you have 2 USB ports, and they don't do anything right now. They just don't do anything. They're future use. It would have been really, really, really nice, and hopefully that some people at Netgear are listening. It'd be really nice if these can actually store video locally. Like you plug in a flash drive or some type of external storage, and it'll just record video, internally on the actual flash drive itself. However, Netgear is like, well, we have our cloud solution, and that's what you should be using. That's what this system is built for. It's not built for basically local use. It's built so you can have monitoring and stuff. So I understand that. However, it'd been nice to have that option. And obviously, I'm going to send them an email saying, you should enable this for local storage. But what I was reading online was basically these USB ports are for future use for smart home stuff. So, for instance, like if this then that stuff that you could see all the people using the Amazon Echo, they could use like a whole bunch of cool stuff by saying, hey, Echo, turn on my lights. That's the kind of stuff that they want for these, I'm sure. Moving on, you have the single Ethernet port. Now, even though this is wireless, it does not connect to your wireless network. It makes its own network for this. And I'm not sure if it uses Wi-Fi or not. My assumption it doesn't use Wi-Fi, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It just works. That's the important part. But you have to hardwire this into it. There's a reset button recessed in here, and there's an on-off switch here, and then the power input. And that's basically the base station itself. Once you actually have everything all set up, you have everything synced, it's actually time to basically set up the system. And to do it, it's really, really simple. I'm going to give Netgear a lot of props on the setup of this. I read some places that they're like, oh, the setup is blah, 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 it's hard. It's not hard. It's really easy. Once you have this thing plugged in, once you have the camera synced, you can go to a web browser, or you can download the applications on your smartphones or whatever, and then basically you just say, oh, I want to set up a new system, and it literally finds the system on your network, and then it just works. Even through a web browser. I originally set this up through my browser on Firefox on Linux, and it works. So I will give Netgear a ton of props for making this system easy to set up, and it worked the first time. Netgear did a great job on their website and the mobile applications. They have feature parity between the two. What you see in a lot of companies is the website is very minimal, basic, doesn't really do anything. Netgear's is fully featured. If you didn't have a smart device like a phone or something, you can use the website for everything. Everything. Watching video, scheduling, everything. It does everything that the mobile application does. So if you don't have a smart device and you still want to use something like this, you easily can do that. You can still get email notifications. And it works just fine. Netgear deserves, again, I'm going to say this, Netgear deserves a lot of credit for putting resources into the website, because I think they understand that the security market needs to have websites, not just smartphones, websites. So good job, Netgear. Most of these cameras have night vision modes. Basically, it's a mode that will fire a infrared LED and when it's in low light and turn it to black and white. And honestly, they all work fine. I haven't really detected a camera these days. I remember when I reviewed a lot of stuff in the past, you'd have night vision that was really crappy and stuff, but these days, most night vision works just fine. Now, obviously, the farther you get from a subject, the harder it's going to be to see the subject. However, if you're putting these in a room or something really close outside, you'll have no trouble discerning features. Like, I put this in this room right here, and once it turns dark, it's easily visible seeing what's going on, and that's really all that's important. When you have security cameras, remember, you don't need that much quality. You just need to know what's happening, and if somebody's stealing something, you just need to know who's stealing something. And that's it. Once you can identify the person, all the other quality doesn't really matter. And you get that kind of quality in the night vision with this. Unlike some competing systems like the Canary that we reviewed in the past, the only thing that's really missing from this system to be really, really useful is when you're actually using this, you have to really manually arm and disarm this unless you use it in scheduling mode. The one problem that it doesn't have right now is geofencing support. Basically, if I'm carrying my smartphone with me and I enter my house, this should be able to just disarm itself because it knows the location of my smartphone, right? It's in the house, it's in the same location, it should basically disarm the device. It doesn't do that right now. However, when I asked that question to Netgear, they said, yeah, that's coming soon. So again, Netgear is listening to feedback. So hopefully, if you have some feedback for an Arlo, tell Netgear. They'll probably give you some good news. Or if not, they'll give you some bad news. But whatever. I like companies that listen to you for feedback. And the fact that they are is good stuff. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to basically have to turn all this stuff on. So I have to set this up in the house right now. And we're going to show you how the smartphone application works. And then we're going to show you how the website works, and there'll be complete feature parity. So I'm going to show you the smartphone, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of the website. They'll basically do the exact same thing. However, like I said before, and I keep saying this, that Netgear did a great job in making feature parity between the application and the website. So let's go check that out right now. We're going to reset everything, and we'll be back. Now that we went over the majority of the Arlo features, I actually want to show you the Arlo software on a smartphone. And the interesting part about this is the Arlo system, you can actually use this on a computer with a web browser, and it's pretty much all the same stuff. And really, Netgear should be applauded for their use of browsers versus smartphones. You have a lot of companies that say, oh, I'm just going to make a smartphone application, does everything. But Netgear understands, like, this is a security thing. You probably want to do this on a computer as well, and accessing it through a web browser, and you get the same functionality. Good stuff on Netgear's end. I'm going to superimpose this on this side of the screen, so let's open up the Arlo application. And you can see that it already detected motion. I've disabled this. So let's start with the modes. So right now, I have it on disarmed because the camera is actually right near me. And if I put it on armed, you'll see, here, I'll show you real quick. So now the camera's armed. And if I start to like make some motion, hopefully this works really quickly. Let's see if I can do this real quick. No! There you go. Now I'm going to disarm it right now. So basically what you could see, if I pull down this, you could see that motion was detected on the downstairs, and that's where I am right now. So good stuff. It shows you that this actually does work. Now if I go to cameras, if I click, I'll click this notification. It brings me into cameras, shows me this. Now if I hit downstairs, I can view this live. So let's hit this live. So now it's interfacing with the camera right there, and you can see me. Slight delay, but it's fine. And that's basically the live picture. Okay? And you can also see the library. So if I wanted to see all the events, you hit this button over here with the 0, because I already viewed everything, and you can see all the different events that triggered this motion capture. So if I wanted to view an old one like this one, it's as simple as clicking that and playing it. And like I said, I'm going to show you the web interface after this, but it's basically the same thing. I'm rocking shorts in this. Terrible. Let's get out of here. Let's get back out of there. So with the two cameras, you basically get the same functionality on each one. And really, you can actually do a lot of different modes as well. So for instance, if I wanted to do this based on the schedule, they give you one. But however, let's just add a new mode. You can call this name test. Okay. Next. And you can set up what device you want these rules to apply to. We'll do both. Next. Oops. I think you can do it one at a time. Yeah, it's one at a time. Oop. How would you like entry to activate when motion is detected? I mean, that's, you could do that, or, I mean, that's it. Then you have the motion sensitivity, and this is where the setup of the camera actually comes in. When you're setting up the camera, you actually can put the motion sensing thing on to a mode that'll blink the LED on the front, and that'll tell you when it's detecting motion. So that's what this means. What do you want to do when motion is detected? Do you want to record a video or do nothing? Obviously you want to record a video. Now you can select how long you want the video to record. And now you can keep going, and we can do this on the next device. Just, oops, hold on. What device do you want to have video recorded for this rule? Oh, okay, so this is interesting. I forgot to say this. So once that motion is detected on one device, you can connect another device saying, yeah, turn on video on this other device as well. So you get a lot of different options to do it. So just keep it on this device. How do you want to be notified this? you can actually set up an email alert, and you saw the push notifications on here as well. Sure. See, it's basically like an if this then that kind of thing. It's like, if the following, then do the following. And then you could set up a whole bunch of stuff. You could set up a schedule if you want to, and all this other good stuff. Like if I hit, well, let me just remember where it is. Of course, I'm not going to remember real quick. Whoops. All right, let's save this real quick. Now, you can see that I have a custom mode set up. Now, if I hit this, you can see that there's a thing. Let's go back. Back. Where's the part where you... Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Disarmed. Okay. So if you want to do scheduling, I guess you have to use the schedule thing. So to do a schedule, it's really easy. You just block it out, and it's either armed or disarmed. Now, the one thing that's lacking of the Netgear Arlo right now is the ability to geofence, which basically means if I'm walking into my house, theoretically, because I have my device on me, this can automatically disarm the device. Things like the Canary and other competing models can do that. What I've heard from Netgear is that that's in the works, so that's coming soon. They understand that feedback already exists in the market, and it's coming soon. So nothing to worry about there. But you can put it on schedule. So for instance, if you're going to work, you could say when you go to work, arm it. When you come back from work, disarm it. Or you can manually do it like I'm doing. It's really no big deal. Because basically it'll just bug you. It's saying, oh my god, I detected motion detection. And I already showed you the cameras, and if I show you the live view from upstairs, this is the cool part about this application. Like, you know, even though all these things are wire-free, it's really quick, the quality looks really good, and it's just really nice to be able to just throw a camera somewhere, not have to worry about a connection or even power. If you go into the library, this is where all the actual stuff is actually captured so you can view. What is this one? Let's see. Oh, just hasn't put a thumbnail up there yet. So you can see this is the one I just did. Oh, and now you can actually download this if you wanted to. So now I'm downloading the footage for, you know, if I need to show this to the police or whatever, and that's that. Again, all this stuff could be done on the actual web interface, which I'll show you a little bit. You can delete footage if you want. You get 1 GB free, 7 days of storage for free. If you want to pay for more storage, you can, but I mean 7 days is good enough. If you go into the settings, you can see all the devices that are set up. So I only have one device, 2 cameras, and you can rename the device if you want. You can say the time zone. You can do flicker adjustment if you're like in, I think Europe has 50 hertz or something or whatever. You can set up the cameras. You can rename the cameras. You can turn night vision on or off. You can invert the image. When you're actually setting the camera up, you go into position mode, and then basically it'll just give you a live feed of the device, which I'll show you right now. This is the funny part about live things when you're doing this. Come on, turn on. There you go. So now that this is in position mode, I can position the camera wherever I want, and then it's good to go. That's really all that's used for. You can accomplish the same thing by just watching the camera live. However, positions pretty much slow down, not slow down, but they lower the quality so it's a little bit faster, so you don't get as much delay. The motion detection test is pretty interesting. You basically, once you select this, it'll give you, see, entry is now in motion detector test. Now if I showed you this and I started waving my hands, the little LED on there would actually blink, and that's how you use this percentage thing. We don't need that. Now, power management. There's 3 modes. You can either do best video, optimized, or best battery life. Basically what it's saying is, okay, when I want to record video, what's the quality you want to record in? Now, optimized just means like you're going to get a good quality at a good frame rate, and it's going to save battery life. If you want the best quality ever, it's going to reduce battery life because it's obviously going to push additional information to the wireless access point that it has. And if you want better battery life, the video quality is going to be lowered. However, all of them that I've noticed, you can pretty much spot whatever you need to in the video, so it's not like that big of a deal. This was when I was setting up the cameras. That's why they're pointing at each other. You can also pan and zoom the image if you want to, but really, once you have this set up, it's good to go. Oh, one additional thing. You can invert the image. So for instance, if it's pointing upside down, you could flip it. hit back. That's pretty much everything on the settings, and you can obviously up your subscription if you want to. If you want to buy more cameras, it's got that link. I could grant access to other people. I can order the cameras. For instance, if I want to put the entry below, just come on. You gotta hold it down, then move it. Now it's below, but I don't care. And that's pretty much an overview of the actual software. The software is good. I've used some really terrible software for cameras in the past, and because you must use Netgear software to use the Arlo system. Because the Arlo is not a continuously recorded system, you can't just plug this into an NVR. And you know me, I love NVRs. But Netgear did a pretty damn good job of their mobile applications and the websites. So if you have to use something like this, Netgear's system is pretty good. And we're going to reset this and show you the actual computer side of this right now. This is the web interface of the Netgear Arlo system, and you can see that it's basically feature parity with the mobile application, and that's really great. You can also see that the battery power actually went down by a notch as I was actually doing this review, which is actually pretty interesting. So I've been using this for about a month, so and obviously I've been doing it pretty heavily, and this is a wire-free system, so you don't want to be recording continuously because you'll see the battery life just really tank. Now let's just see what we could see live, and maybe hopefully this doesn't look too weird. I'm just gonna wave at the camera as I'm recording this, see if it'll go. Show you this. Basically it's the same thing. Of course it fails. So I've noticed that happen once, a few times, but it'll just work. You just have to do it. It's probably something to do with, there it goes. So if I actually wave to the camera, there's a slight delay and stuff, and you can see me on my computer. Yay, great. Stop that. And that's basically live stuff. However, you can go into your library just like in the application and view anything into here. Like for instance, the part where I actually did the review with a vacuum cleaner in the background, you can see that here's that recording right here. And like I said, it's really great that there's feature parity between the website and the mobile application. So if you can actually go in and you could say, see, it's disarmed right now, and I can do all this stuff, anything that I want to do. I can change this to schedule based again and do everything I need to in here. I can add scheduling. Let's go back to house. See that custom mode I made? Let's get rid of it. Delete. Boom. So Netgear did a really good job on making sure that this whole system is usable without a smart device. So if you go into settings, it's all the same stuff. I don't know if their development team just said, yeah, we're just going to make a web portal that's basically, or an application that's basically a web portal or what, but really, all this stuff is exactly the same, and that's really good to see. I mean, look at this stuff. Everything is the same. Every use case is covered. And really, that's what you'd want to see in a system like this. It's usable outside of a smart device. You can use it in a browser. Again, I'm using this on Firefox on Linux. I mean, really, good stuff. Good job, Netgear. Way to go. One additional thing I wanted to mention was that each of the cameras have a 130-degree field of view. You'll notice that it's not 90 degrees, and it's got a little bit of a widescreen, and there's a little bit of bowing in it, but it's not that bad. Generally, this is a security camera, so the more field of view, the better. It's not as big as that D-Link camera that has a 180-degree view, but it serves its purpose pretty well. You could see that I could see the majority of the room in each of these feeds. I spoke briefly about the battery life of the Arlo's cameras. Now, each one says about 4 to 6 months of typical use. That just means that the typical use of this is to mount this in a place where it's not going to get that much motion. Like for instance, if it's in a shed or something like that, that's fine. The more often this records, the faster the batteries are going to drain. And if you're using batteries like this CR123A that are relatively expensive, you don't want to go through batteries that often. You don't want to go every month replacing batteries. So just remember, the use case for this is something that there's light trafficked area, and you're not going to be recording this every single second. It's going to record on motion only, and that's the use case. So just remember, the more often it records, the faster the batteries are going to drain. That's obvious. I just want to let you know that typical use of this means recording a few times a day, and that's basically it. The Netgear Arlo 2-camera system retails for about $300 at the time of this review. If you want a 1-camera system, it's going to be about $170, $180 in that range, and each camera is about $130. Now remember, each camera is completely wire-free. It only works with a base station from Netgear. So yes, it's a proprietary system. However, it's an interesting use case. If I want to put this outside 300 feet away, it'll work just fine. I can mount this anywhere, even outside. This is a waterproof camera. It'll take the rain just fine. Mount it on the side of my house, and it's good to go, and I won't have to worry about the battery power for at least a few months. And really, this kind of use case is really interesting. You see like more competing things in the market right now. When I was at CES, I saw a bunch of different companies saying, yeah, we're going to have wire-free cameras too. And then when I saw Netgear's they had this, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Because Netgear had another system called the Arlo Q, which was basically just a regular camera that was always recording. But this is unique stuff, and I like seeing this. The mounting system is really cool, really interesting stuff. So if you need this kind of stuff, like you need something that's only going to record for motion, like for instance, you have a summer house and you want to be able to make sure that when you're gone, that nothing is being intruded upon. This is a great system. If you want to like monitor things that are happening outside, like for instance, I like to garden. It would be great to just mount one of these cameras outside near the garden and then see if deer are coming, and then basically chase them off. Or you can actually this is where the smart stuff comes into play. Theoretically, an event can be triggered. I could like turn the lights on and stuff if this was all smart connected and stuff. So there's a lot of possibilities that this system is going to allow in the future. Really, the future is bright, but if you need something like this, you should definitely check out Netgear's Arlo system. It works fine. I am a big fan of their website and the smartphone applications. They know what they're doing. So yeah, good stuff. ASE Labs and ASE Publishing would like to thank Netgear for supplying the Arlo for review. You can check out links below and on ASE Labs to purchase this product from various merchants. Like I said, it's $300 right now. You can purchase it from Amazon. Link below. For ASE Labs and ASE Publishing, I'm Aaron Schatz, and thank you very much for watching. Remember, if you don't have time to watch this entire review, even though I'm talking to you right now at the end of the review, there's a link below. You can see the 1-minute review of this. We're going to cram this entire thing into 1 minute and hopefully give you the information you need to make an informed decision. But like I said, this system is a really, really interesting thing, and if you need a system that's wire-free, completely wire-free, it's really good. Really, it's not cheap, but you get quality, and that's what you like to see in the market. We like to see quality things. This works, good battery life, and waterproof. Mount this thing outside, you're good to go. Remember, there's a subscribe button right here. You should hit it. You'll be informed of all our video content, including all the 1-minute reviews. And again, if you don't have time, just hit the 1-minute review of this, and you'll see everything. You don't have to skip to the end to see the conclusion. It's all right there in one little chunk for you to view. Thanks for watching, everybody. And remember, send us some feedback. We always listen. We always try to respond to your feedback. Thanks again.